Hey everyone, my name is Courtney Budzyn and this is What's for Din. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make old-fashioned glazed donuts. I am so excited to share this recipe with you because this is so delicious and a little bit naughty. So let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. So you're going to need some whole milk, not 1%, not 2%, but whole milk is what you're going to need at 115 degrees. You're also going to need some active dry yeast, and if you're unsure what to look for in the store, this is what the packaging looks like. You want to get the active dry kind. Then you're going to need some sugar, a little bit of salt, vegetable shortening, vegetable shortening, eggs, and flour. And then the rest of the ingredients we'll go over before we do the glaze and all that. So first step, making sure that your milk is not too hot, not too cold, otherwise your yeast won't activate. It's really important. So I'm going to add my yeast in there and a little bit of sugar just to give the yeast something to feed on. And then we're just going to give it a little stir. And we're going to allow that to activate until it becomes foamy, so about 5 to 10 minutes depending. So let that activate. And then in my bowl, I'm going to mix the rest of our sugar in with our shortening, our salt, and our eggs. And I'm just going to whisk this and mix it all together. Okay, that's nice and mixed, but I'm still waiting for my yeast to activate, so we'll come back when that's all ready to go. So you can see my yeast is perfectly activated. It's nice and foamy and bubbly, and you can smell that weird smell that kind of smells like beer. If your yeast does not activate and it does not get foamy after about 10-15 minutes, throw it out, start over again, because you have to have activated yeast in order to do this, or else your donuts won't be fluffy. They'll be flat as a pancake, and that's not fun. No pancakes here. So what I'm going to do is add my yeast to the mixture, and we're just going to mix this together quickly. And now what I'm going to do is add just a little bit of my flour just to give it a head start. And I just have here my hand mixer with dough hook attachments on it. You can do this all by hand if you prefer, or if you want to do it with a standing mixer, that's fine. So just get this all incorporated. Okay. Now I'm going to add the rest of my flour. Spank the butt. And then we're just I'm going to start by just folding this in with my spatula, just so that I don't get a flour-filled face. Okay, once you see that this texture start, you can go ahead with your hand mixer, or you can just do the whole thing in your standing mixer, like I said. Oops, scrape that off the sides, and you're going to want to do this for about 5 to 6 minutes, or until it's nice and smooth. Okay, my dough is nice and smooth. It doesn't have any clumps of flour in it. It's not too sticky, and it's not too dry. If you get to the point where you feel like your dough is too sticky, just add a little bit more flour and just keep kneading it. And what I did was, after it became too much for my little machine, I just took it over the counter and I kneaded it by hand. I'm just kind of old-fashioned, so I like doing it with my hands. So now that that's all done, we're going to let this rise for about an hour or 2 hours, depending on how long it takes for this to double in size. So I just have a glass bowl here that's has a little bit of oil on the inside. I'm just going to flip this and get some oil on the top and then on the bottom. Make sure that's coated because you don't want any skin to develop on that. And then all we're going to do is cover it with some plastic wrap. And then what we're going to do is put this in a warm place, but not the oven. You can set this on top of your oven, in your microwave, not turned on, anywhere where it's warm so that it can double in size. So however long that takes for you, it might be different for me than it is for you. So wait till this baby gets big and strong, and then we'll continue with the recipe after that. Okay, as you can see, my dough has doubled, possibly tripled in size. It's huge, it's beautiful, it's exactly what you want it to look like. So I'm just going to deflate it, punch it in, and you can see how that just deflated instantly. We're going to take our dough out on a floured surface. Look at that. Add a little flour to the top. And I'm just going to roll this till it's about 1/2 inch thick, because they will rise again, so you don't want them to be too thick. You can use your hands just to flatten out the edges a little bit. As you can see, this makes quite a bit. So if you want to, you can just make cut the dough in half and then just make half of the dough and then either freeze or refrigerate the other half until you want to make it again. A little bit more flour. And then all I have here ready is a baking sheet lined with some parchment paper. I'm going to add a little bit of flour to that just so that my donuts don't stick to that, because that's where we're going to let them rise. And I know this is kind of stupid, but I don't have a donut cutter. I'm not a pro at this, and I'm not about to go buy a donut cutter because why would you need to? I'm using a glass and the shot glass measurer thingy-majig, and I'm just using the small version. Works for me. So all I'm doing is dipping my cup in the flour, and then just pressing down, kind of turning it. See? Works just fine. And I'm going to take my little one, press that down, and voila. You got your donut and a donut hole. So I'm just going to continue doing this for the rest of them, and then we'll come back. All right, now we got all our donut holes done and our regular donuts. As you can see, they're not perfect, but who cares? Not me. So now all we got to do is put a damp towel over each of the trays that you have, and then just allow them to double in size, so about half an hour or another hour. I know this is a long process, but trust me, it's worth it. They are so good. All right, I'll come back when they're double in size. Okay, as you can see, our donuts have doubled in size, and I have here some oil that's come up to temperature. You want to make sure it's at the correct temperature, otherwise this will not work. So I just have a metal spatula. You can use the regular deep fryer ones, but I don't have one, so I'm just using this. And what we're going to do is just take a donut and drop it in. Literally only about 50 seconds on each side or until they're perfectly golden brown. You can do 2 or 3 at a time, but I like to do the first one as like a tester to see how it does. You don't want to overcrowd your pan either because that will lower the temperature of the oil. Perfect. And then I'm just going to do the rest. Okay, as you can see, my donuts are all done, and this is a lot of donuts, so I'll be giving some away. But next we're going to do the icing on the outside. It's very, very, very simple. All I have here is some confectionate sugar, and then to that I'm going to add just a splash of vanilla, and then just a little bit of water as needed. You're just going to mix this together until you have the consistency you're looking for. Okay, that's about what I want. So now it's the fun part. And the last step, you're just going to coat it. I'm using my clean hand, and then just put it right back on my rack. And you can do this twice, 3 times, whatever you want. But I think I'm only going to do it once. And then you just keep going until you're finished with the whole batch. Okay, so I think I'm going to try this one. Oh, look at that. Come on. Man, look at that. It's so soft and airy, and oh, I just love making homemade donuts only because you know what's in it. You worked hard to make these. They look homemade. They taste amazing, and it's really fun to do. Even my husband was like, "Oh, come on, let me do one. Let me do one." Your kids would love to make these with you, I'm sure. So I hope you enjoyed spending time with me making these donuts, and if you do remake them, please tag me in your pictures on Instagram. I'll leave the link in the description below, as well as all the ingredients. I'll also leave those in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Definitely subscribe because I have more recipes to come. So I'll see you soon. Bye.